Hey, I've got a question for you. Do you know what special education curriculum is being used at your school? If you're a teacher going to a new school, have you asked this question? If you're a parent of a child who has an IEP, do you know what curriculum is being used? I'm going to challenge you to figure out the answer to this question as we go into this next school year. And here's the reason why. A lot of times there's no good answer. And that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing that we are not confident in what curriculum is being used with a student. Now, will we have a curriculum for every area of every goal of everything that a child is using? Maybe we won't have like a structured curriculum that comes in a box that says do this, and do this. But we should have research-based curriculum and methods that we're using for every area in special education. So let me just share with you a little story. You guys know I've been working professionally in the field of special education for over 25 years. So I have a lot of experience with a lot of different school districts. I've traveled the country going in as a consultant when teams are in crisis. I've worked with parents across the country on helping achieve IEPs that work, that are collaborative. But when I was a special education teacher, I remember walking into my very first classroom and there was basically nothing. There were some desks, some tables. There was a big green carton, like a milk carton on my desk that had stacks of papers in it. That was the stacks of IEPs. Yes, I was a teacher before everything was digital. And I didn't have books. I didn't have curriculum. I didn't have the resources that I should have had. I would love to say that things have changed, but quite honestly, it really hasn't for most teachers in most schools. Now, parents, lean in and listen. You can make a difference in this. I didn't know how much of a difference a parent could make until one of my students' parents came to me and said, "Are you trained in ABA?" In fact, I'm kind of simplifying that conversation because she was defensive. She was aggressive in the way that she was talking to me. She was making sure that I was trained in what I needed to be trained because she had been burned before as a parent, being told that a certain curriculum, that a certain level of skill would be provided in the classroom, and that didn't happen for her son in the past. And now her son was assigned to my classroom and she wanted to know, what was my resources? Like, what were they? What were my options for teaching her child? Not only what was my skill set, but what materials did I have? Well, here's the thing. I can be totally confident in my abilities and what I'm able to do as a teacher. I knew how I was trained. I knew what my experience was, right? I knew that I could teach her child. I was 100% confident in that. But I can't just like, poof, make resources come out of thin air. I didn't have those. I couldn't lie about that. Not that I would lie to a parent, but you know what I'm saying? Like I can't fake it. I cannot fake it. There was nothing there. And it wasn't until the parent said, like, you're not going to get in trouble for this. I just need to know, like, do you have what you need? No. Like, we're looking through the IEP and I'm like, well, it says that your son needs this, this, and this. Like, did his other teacher have it? She says, no, that was part of the problem. It's like, I don't have it. And you know, I was a new teacher, and so I probably, nope. You know, like, I'm like, I can go talk to my boss. And she was kind of like, well, I'm going to go talk to your boss about it. Well, you know, long story short, I got the curriculum that was needed from the parent advocating for it. Now, if I would have went to my boss and said, I need this, she would have had to check the budget and make sure. And the, you know, teachers typically get some small allotment each year on things that they can, you know, on like a little tiny budget that they can use to buy supplies for their classroom. It would have been a whole red tape process that probably would not have resulted in me getting that curriculum anytime soon, if at all. Now, because the parent was effective in saying, my child needs an appropriate education, and it has been shown that he needs this curriculum. It was written in the IEP that he needs this. So the school went and got it like ASAP, quite honestly, because they just didn't want to. They were like, no, like we can't fight this. Like, we're not going to fight this. It's fine. It's in there. Let's just do it. Okay. So it's important for you to understand that as a parent, you have the ability to help the teacher. Was that an uncomfortable situation for me? 1,000,000%. Did I kind of have to throw my boss as a new teacher under the bus in a respectful way of like, I don't have it. She never gave it to me. Like, I don't know. Like, I can follow up with her. I'll talk to her. Like, I was doing the best that I could to make this like a positive conversation. Yeah, I was trying, but there was nothing I could do. School district didn't give me what I needed. This is a conversation that needs to happen more because I'm watching thousands of special education teachers create their own materials, sell them to other teachers, put together resources. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. The issue is when that's the only thing that's available to that teacher when we're talking about creating IEP goals that meet the standards of what the law says they have to be. When we're talking about teaching methods that are research-based, when we're talking about curriculum that makes sense, okay, that it's not just this eclectic approach that we pull together a little of this and a little of that. Special education teachers are amazing. If you are one and you're watching, I love you. I love you for your creativity and finding all these resources and pulling it all together. That is fantastic, but you still need curriculum. So Evelyn says, this sounds familiar to me. I hear you. You are not alone. That's how come, we're going to have more tough conversations like this up and coming through the summer and into next school year. And I'm going to be bringing you resources that'll show you what a good curriculum looks like. Who needs to know that? Raise your hand if you need to know what a good curriculum looks like. Can parents ask for the curriculum from teachers? Yes, you can ask for anything. This is where I get a little sassy and say, you're an adult. You can ask whatever you want. Don't ever say, can I ask? You absolutely 1,000,000%. You can ask, okay? Will the teachers give it to you? Some very, very freely. Some will say, I need to check with my boss. Some will be like, I don't even know what you're really talking about. Like, what are you looking for? What do you mean by curriculum? Okay, there's a lot of different things that can be considered curriculum. So make sure that you are asking specifically for like, what structured curriculum are you using? What research-based curriculum are you using for reading? Are you using for math? Are you using for social skills? All of those things have structured research-based curriculum that absolutely can be appropriate for your child's age, for the milestones that they're at. It absolutely is possible to have an appropriate curriculum. Let's see. Kathy says, we homeschool and use a specific curriculum for their child. It's working. Can we request the school to use it? Can you request it? Sure. Do they have to use it? No. Okay. There's a whole process in that. That's like layers and layers of a conversation. You can request it. You can show the data. They're going to use their own. Then you compare the data. If your data is better than their data, then we can negotiate that perhaps they need to. Okay. All different ways to negotiate on how that might happen. But bottom line is, can you ask? Yes. Will they use it? Probably not. Do you need the data to support having that conversation down the road if your child's not making progress? Yes, you do. So, all right, we have, let's see, we talked about, can parents ask for the curriculum? Can we use the same, can we ask them to use the same curriculum that we're using at home? So let's see, our state has dyslexia laws, but the teachers aren't trained in dyslexia programs. What are our recourses? So really it's data. Is a child making progress? And to all the teachers listening, it's not your fault that you're not trained in all the things, okay? But you do have to advocate for yourself, and parents, you need to advocate for teachers to get training. I've never met a teacher that doesn't want to learn. Okay, lean into that. I've never met a teacher that doesn't want to learn. Do they always have access to the resources? Do they always have the time to do it? Do they always have the just that supportive environment to make that happen? No. But I don't know a teacher who went into the field to not do what needs to get done for the child to make progress. So I want to encourage you, if you liked this conversation and you're like, yes, I need more of that, please make sure that you go to iepmasterclass.com. That's where I'm here every week free, giving a free training. I'll also send you some emails on some insider scoop of how to get into the special education inner circle, where we have monthly professional development for parents and teachers, live and recorded. If we're going to work together, we learn together, right? So we're going to make sure that you get all the information that you need to become part of the Special Education Inner Circle and continue this conversation. Get started over at iepmasterclass.com. I'll see you guys there.